opening episode of Outlander Season 7, we see Claire and Jamie separated as she faces trial for the murder of Malva Christie. As Jamie races to her side, Bree and Roger reunite with the familiar face, but it doesn't go down too well with the couple. Welcome to the first Outlander Insider Chat of Season 7. How excited are you that the show is back?
Do you know what? I actually am really excited that it's back because I was left on such a cliffhanger with the whole storyline with Malva Christie. I think that has kept me thinking, I really want to know what happens next. But I do also get that maybe fans might find it, a little bit tired in a sense, just because, so much has happened that you almost think, how much can actually happen to the Frasers, at this point? They've kind of gone through everything. But I think the whole murder storyline has kept me hooked. I'm desperate to know what's going to happen there.
I so agree with you. It's, obviously this is the penultimate series. We've got season 8 and then it's done and then it's going to be the prequel. But it does feel like sometimes over the seasons, it's just been how can they be getting themselves into more drama?
Yeah.
How have they survived another thing? At this point, they've got their cat with 9 lives. But this murder mystery element that was in the season 6 and has come into season 7 is so interesting.
Definitely. And I think this whole thing with Claire going to trial and Jamie trying to find her again, it kind of reminds me of the witch trials storyline Claire had in season 1. And I think that's the kind of dynamic I love to see between them when he's on the mission to save Claire, but she's also kind of, working out how to get out of it herself. I think it's going to be a really exciting season.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about it because you're so right. It's the feminism leaving my body when Jamie's I will ride to you. My knee down.
Literally, I hate to say it, but damsel in distress in this scene, I'm yes.
I mean, obviously, Claire isn't a damsel. Claire's sorting out her own situation. So, spoilers going forward. Pick up where we left off with the season 6 finale, where Claire has been separated from Jamie. She's gone to Wilmington to face trial for the murder of Malva Christie, which she did not do. And Jamie has rode into the horizon to go get his wife back.
Outlander never makes it easy, does it? It's always kind of Claire and Jamie, whenever they're apart, they almost seem to just miss each other. It's extremely stressful, but it makes the payoff all that more. But I do love how capable Claire is.
You ever think that if it was you that went back in time, you would just be useless?
I'd be dead.
Season 1. I just know the origin of 20 herbs, and I don't know much about history, but I do know that at this part there was a Jacobite rising, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just I
barely remember. Yeah. Any of my history lessons from school, it's all out the window. I would be useless with the history that she seems to just know and whip out during episodes conveniently.
Yeah, she is literally the best possible person that could have been put in this scenario.
100%.
Got a little bit of information about everything. But yeah, but once again, she sort of helps herself out, but is ultimately rescued not by her blood of her blood, but by Tom Christie. What did you make of that storyline? I mean, I think the general consensus that he didn't do it. So Malva's murderer is still at large.
Yeah, I don't think anyone... I mean, Claire and Jamie don't believe that he did it. And I don't think I'm very convinced either. I think, obviously, if you're a fan of the book, you might have more insight into whether or not he is responsible for Malva's murder. But if you are just a fan of the show, I'm not sure fans will believe that he did it.
But I do like that. I like his story arc. For saying he is a side character, and he was a bit awful in season 6.
Yeah.
But, he's kind of this super religious guy, and he just falls in love, which is, it's a romantic series, and it's actually quite sweet.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's really frustrating when you hear him give that speech about how women are witches and how, it's also incredibly frustrating because you think that this man just does not have a very modern mindset, which obviously he won't. But it makes it very difficult for me to like him at the same time, because in the back of my mind, I'm he has this ridiculous idea that women who are confident or women who are kind of brave and speak their mind are witches.
I've got to say, though, I don't know whether you thought this whilst watching it. I think this is just me being a cynic and not giving poor Jamie the credit that he's owed. But when Tom told him that's what he was going to do, and Jamie's absolutely not. This is my situation. And then Tom kind of pushes back a little bit, and then Jamie's well, I suppose I can't stop you. Like, and then later to Claire, he's like, I would have done it myself if Tom hadn't done it. And it's like, you hadn't done it yet, Jamie. Like, you know, like you're in Wilmington. This has been like a long time coming. You hadn't had this brainwave yet. I was like, you're trying to get some credit here where credit is not due. Like,
do you know what? I completely agree with you. I mean, I know that Jamie will go to the end of the earth to save Claire. I mean, he pretty much does it like every few episodes. But at the same time,
average through every 3 episodes.
When he said that, I was like, Jamie, that's just a flat out lie. Like, you were not doing this. Like, you were trying to find her on the ship. I don't understand.
You did nothing. You basically just rode a horse.
Like, just rode off on the boat as well.
Let's talk about the other plot points of the episode. So the other major thing that happened was Roger went to become ordained as a minister, and he came across, is it called Wendigo? The man who is also
a time traveler.
And he wants to help him. And I thought that was, I didn't blame Bree for having a huge issue with him wanting to help him, because, like, you know, obviously when that happened when Claire was attacked, they killed everyone. He just managed to escape. Like, he was still part of it. And I think Roger's like, you know, you have to do what you have to do in these situations. It's like, no.
It's like you say, I was very much on the side of Bree. Like, I think, you know, she knows what her mum went through, and also she went through it herself. You know, she's had aspects of that. You know, back in season 4, I think it was, we saw what Stephen Bonnet did to her. So you completely see where Bree's coming from. Like, why should he help him? But then at the same time, I think Roger's a very pure soul. I think sometimes he's a little bit naive, and I think he sees it as, well, no matter what, you should help someone, which is very sweet. But I think ultimately he needed to stand by his wife and go with what Bree wanted, because it was so much more personal to her, what her family's been through, I think.
Absolutely. Like, ultimately, he did the right thing. But I've got to say, though, like, citing the fact that he was like, look, when I was on Stephen Bonnet, your attackers crew, I watched him throw people overboard and I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You're not endearing her to your cause here at all. Like, the men on this show, Megan, the men. Like, he has no excuse either. He's from the 20th century or whatever. So
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I tend to give Jamie a free pass if he does anything wrong, but Roger, I'm a bit more like, I don't know. I think it's just because it's Jamie, though. I'm like, he can do what he wants. Like, it's fine.
I mean, I completely agree. And, you know, that's very biased of us, but strong agree. So it's looking like, I don't think this is the last we'll have seen of Wendigo. I think he might be this year's baddie. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a good chance that. I never know where we stand with Wendigo, because kind of like Roger points out, I think the whole storyline with Claire, you know, he did you kind of don't know if he wronged her or not. It's a very weird situation. I think he's very sly and you can't trust him. But you never know with Outlander, I think, who's going to be the villain, because we've got all this kind of political storylines going on at the side as well. And I don't know if maybe one of these military kind of figures are going to cause more problems for Jamie down the line. So I don't know.
We know his son's in this one.
Yeah,
his grown-up son is coming in, so I'm so excited to see that, because presumably he'll be on the side of the British.
Yeah,
we were saying earlier that obviously Wendigo has Gem, or he tried to steal it. Basically, a gem is at play. So it's like, you know, what are the chances that we're going to see him back in the future? We're going to see one of the Fraser family back in the future. Like, do you think, I've got to say, I think I prefer the time travel elements of it and the romance more than like the historical battles and stuff.
You know what? I'm exactly the same. I think sometimes it's because it's also easier to follow. I think there's so much history that's very complicated to understand, especially the politics of it. We don't really know a lot about time travel. Like, I don't think it's very clear about how any of them really get through the stones, or why certain people can't.
No hard and fast rules. Yeah, exactly. It seems like everyone can do it apart from Jamie at this point.
It's the most frustrating element of the show. I would love for Jamie to get to be safe and time travel, and get very confused as well, because he's also supposedly in the pilot episode, watching Claire by the street lamp.
Yes, ghost.
Yeah, so, ghost. But then I think, can he time travel? Will he time travel? So...
Well, I've never been able to get my head around the gems thing.
No, neither have I must say.
Because do they need a gem to get through?
what I've kind of taken from it is that some people do need a gem, but we know that Claire never had one. Claire literally went through the stones by pure accident. Like, it was just luck. So
back and forth like it was a tube stop.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. Do you need a gem? Do you not? Like, I think it's going to be interesting. And because he still has the gem on him, it then kind of poses the question of, is anyone else going to time travel? Like, do they have to have the gem? Because Brianna didn't have one either. I mean, what is the rules?
I tell you what, if anybody watching knows the rules of the gems, please comment below, because we would love to just know what the deal is with that. Thank you so much for joining us for our opening episode of Outlander Insider. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you for next week's breakdown. Bye.